Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. It is me once again, screaming into the void of the internet. This is my first time recording on this new phone. I actually used to make the videos still on my older phone, and I probably still will, but I did just want to, for curiosity's sake, see how it sounds on this. And it sounds very empty in here because I am in the garage, and, well, I'm the only one home. So it's going to have a bit of an echo in this. But I wanted to talk about something. Because I know I've said this before, but, someone recently said something interesting that I still don't agree with, so I'm going to, give my thoughts on it. He said something along the lines that even though a lot of the gals are voting in these people that are struggle snuggling, that are ruining the country and stuff like that, right? That they don't know what they're doing, kind of. And despite how they treat us, we should have decency towards them. And I'm going to be honest, and I'm going to just say this from a very cold-hearted perspective. No, we shouldn't. No, we shouldn't. No. It is not your duty. I don't care, guys. It is not your duty to go put yourself in this position where you could lose your life and die for these people, because guess what usually happens? They step right over your freaking body. And you see this happen over and over again. Whether it was the guy on the freaking subway where those chicks walked right over him, whether it was the guy at the restaurant. Now, I can't remember these names precisely, but if you look this stuff up, you can find the names. Whether it was the guy at the restaurant where a chick was being harassed and he said, "Oh, I'm going to intervene," and he died. And did she stay with him? Nope. In both of these cases, those chicks walked right by him. They walked right by him. This guy gave his life, essentially. I'm sure that he didn't think he was going to die that day. They give their lives, and you can't even call an ambulance. You can't even stay there with them. It's not like this person was asking you, "All right, as long as I save your life, you got to promise to give me your vajayjay." They just did it because they felt like it was the right thing to do, and you cocksuckers couldn't even stay with them. You couldn't call an ambulance. You just left. And even if that person, let's just say that they do succeed, right? We live in such a cancerous world and a cancerous justice system, which is an injustice system, by the way, that is so obsessed with money that they're going to say, "All right, well, we could get a whole bunch more money out of this if we just say that, well, you used X54th, right?" And you could ask the very person that you saved if they would stand to be a witness to, say, "Hey, no, this person was in the right. They were attacking me." And they won't even do that. So here you are, bleeding through your money through this cancerous justice system, right? And the person that you risked your life for isn't even willing to be there for you. If not anything other than the fact that, hey, they owe their, lives to you in a certain aspect. They can't even show up for one hearing. So no. This idea that we have to be good to these people, that we have to be loyal to these people, no. These cocksuckers, these people using their vote, which in my opinion, as far as I'm concerned now, there's way too many people that have the ability to vote. No. We need some IQ tests very, very, very seriously when it comes down to this voting. We need to understand the thinking processes of the people who are being allowed to influence who can and cannot come into this country. Because the same people that do that bullcrap are then the same people that will vote for stuff like, "Hey, I should have the right to, excommunicate my kid in the womb or even out the womb in certain states." But then at the same time, I'm going to use that to say, "Hey, the clump of cells that, we just freaking tore apart, let's go ahead and have the people openly saying that they're going to freaking struggle snuggle us, that they should have the right to do that. We're going to vote them in here, have them come over here, get the benefits without the responsibilities, and say that, oh, we need to give them sanctuary." Heck, you even got some of these instances where they're just saying, "Oh, we don't want to say who it was because it's going to come off as racist." Why are there people still thinking that we have to save these people? No. Listen, I've said this before and I'm going to say it again. You don't have to freaking hurt nobody. You don't have to freaking spit in their freaking face or nothing. You just don't have to do anything. You don't have to intervene. This is a world that they made. They voted for this. They fight for this. They fight for this all the time, screaming at the top of their lungs in their stupid, pierced, colored-haired, tatted faces. They scream at the top of their lungs to fight for the very people that are going to do all of this crap to them. Why are there still guys going around here making it seem like, oh no, we got to be the right people and save them? No. No, we don't. We don't. We don't. I think that all guys, the main thing that y'all should be doing, as far as I'm concerned, rarely will I tell you what to do, but I'll say it here. Prioritize what makes you happy. And let me tell you straight, folks, all of this bullcrap that has been fed to us about how important, X, Y is, whether it's money, relationships, love, whatever it is, material possessions, whatever makes you happy, that's something you got to figure out for you. Yes, does some of this stuff apply? Because yes, you do need, like food, water, clothing, shelter, which unfortunately we live in a fiat-based currency. So, we do have to freaking get money, right? So yes, we do need our needs, but then there's certain desires, and that's just what they are. And in a certain aspect, it's rather interesting that humanity became the dominant species when we are so prone to self-destruct when we don't have desires. Because listen, the truth of the matter is, irregardless of if we had certain things, we can still function. It may not be at what we would like, but we can still function. And it's very irritating to me to listen to so many of these guys act like they're on men's side and then just say, hey, let's keep protecting the very people that are ruining everything for us. Let's keep protecting the people that are constantly saying you're an incel, you're this, you're that, you're less than human. They don't even acknowledge your existence. They don't acknowledge your plights, your struggles. But we need to keep protecting these people. Why? Why? We don't need to. They are destroying themselves. It's not like we're putting a freaking, shooty, shall we say, to their heads and pulling the triggers. They are inviting the very people coming over here to destroy everything. They're doing it. It's not us. It's not us. And I'm sick of that. I'm nobody's hero. I am nobody's hero. If I'm anybody's hero, it's somebody that I have a connection with. I'll be that person's hero. But when it comes down to some random stranger, I'm not getting involved. I'm not. Because you don't know the full story. You don't. Even in these cases where someone is just freaking swinging on somebody, you don't know. You do not know what happened. Way too many people like to get themselves into stuff thinking that, oh, this is obviously, the victim and this is the aggressor. And you don't know that. This white knight bullcrap, that needs to go away. And for some reason, it's a sad thing to see people as sharp as they are, even in this space, still advocating for that white knight bullcrap. No. No, don't do that, guys. Don't do it. There's no need for it. There is no need for it. If these people want to self-destruct, if they want to ruin their lives, if they want to advocate for all of the crap, that is the very reasons, the very things that they scream to high hell and back, that they have to worry about every second of the day, they voted in, and then they protect the freaking people that did it. If they want to scream about that, let them scream. Because we warned them over and over and over again what would happen, and they chose not to listen. Some people got to learn the hard way. And all I really got to say to that is this. Hey, listen, while you may have to learn the hard way, I'm not going to be nobody's victim. I'm not going to be anyone's victim. Not if I have anything to say about it. Heck, even as I speak, I'm looking for where I want to get my first shooty bit, shall we say. Yeah. I'm not in a dangerous neighborhood anymore, not by a long shot, but that doesn't mean that I'm not going to pretend like I don't live in a freaking effed up world. I do. The world is not safe. The fact that these freaking idiots voting for all this crap don't want to acknowledge that is insane. They somehow think that if you took away all of your ability to defend yourself, then that's gonna just mean that, oh well, nobody's ever gonna try anything. Yeah, sure. Go ahead and think that. Go ahead and think that. They're still going to hurt you. They're still going to do stuff. They will. If somebody is determined to hurt you, they will. So I'd rather have the playing field be relatively even, as long as you're willing to, use what you got. Use what's available to you. And I intend on doing that. These idiots that whine about this stuff, that say that, in my opinion, if they were so scared, they'd be some of the deadliest freaking marksmen in the world. They're not, though. They're freaking crybabies. And idiots that don't want to see the world for what it is. That vote the very people in who are going to, they say what they're going to do well before they get here. And they still vote them in. And then they have the gall to defend them. To defend them. To give these people freaking GoFundMe money after they do stuff like that. I can't feel bad for someone who is consistently doing the stuff that's destroying their lives. I can't do it. And I don't think you should either. I don't want to tell you what to do with your life, but when it comes down to somebody like that, what can you do for them? What can you do for them? They refuse to think. They're brainwashed. They refuse to think. To me, I just say let it go. Straight up, let it go. It's not your business. Nothing you got to get involved with. Don't bother with it. Don't bother with it. So in conclusion of this, because, I've made this video before, but I'm just going to, say this once more. No, guys, don't be these people's hero. No. We screamed and told them over and over and over again, you don't understand what you're doing. You don't understand. You chose not to listen. Now you're dealing with the freaking consequences. And in standard fashion, the moment that the consequences come crawling, oh, please, you got to do something. And even if we did, we look at all the examples where these guys intervene, and these cunts can't even stand by them in a trial if they were fortunate enough to survive. And in the instances where they're unfortunate enough to survive, they don't even call an ambulance. They walk right over that guy like he didn't exist. These people can go screw themselves, and they do that plenty already. So now they call the people to come help them do some screwing. Some forceful screwing. And all I've got to say to that is, you deserve it. I don't care. I said it. You deserve it. How can I have pity for someone openly calling the people over here to do the stuff that they claimed that they were going to do once they got here? Not doing it. So, again, know that I talked about that before, but I'm very sick of hearing people, even in this space, as smart as these guys are in this space, saying that we need to defend the people that are destroying everything. Nope. That's a done deal. Don't do it, guys. Prioritize yourself. Prioritize your happiness. So I'm just going to go ahead and conclude it there. Hope you guys enjoyed. What are your thoughts? Do you actually think that we need to defend these people? Listen, I'm not going to say something like negative about you in the comments. I'm not going to name call you. I want to know why. Give me a reason why I'm supposed to somehow defend these idiots. I'm not. I've given you plenty of reasons why I don't stand for that. Plenty. But if you really feel that way, let's go ahead and have a discussion in the comments, because I got to hear it, because I'm not seeing it. Not personally. But again, hope you guys enjoyed. Hang in there, guys. Let's get through the bad days to enjoy the good days. God bless. I will see you next time.